Great North News to the Rockbound Coast and streaming live in HD worldwide at foxbangor.com. More people choose Good Morning Maine.
Hello everyone. Today on Good Morning Maine, the Searsmont community hosted their Memorial Day parade yesterday and honored the victims of the Robbins Lumber Mill fire. More on that ahead. Plus, nurses at Holton Regional Hospital are going on strike today. We'll have the latest on that. And Island Connections on MDI is putting on a fundraiser from now until the 4th of July. We'll bring you those details as well. Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Maine. I'm Janessa Bishop. Craig Colson is off for the day. We'll have those stories and much more coming up. And as always, we thank you for joining us. For the weather today, it looks like it will be a clear and sunny day with temperatures nearly reaching 80. Let's start off this morning by getting a first check of our forecast. Devin Biggs joins us now.
Alrighty, Janessa, thank you very much. Happy Tuesday. Your first weather forecast brought to you by Tick and Mosquito Guard. We stop ticks and mosquitoes. Now serving Washington, Hancock, and Penobscot counties. We are pet safe and have eco-friendly options available. Call today for a free quote, 207-263-3421. Alrighty, here we go. We have a small craft advisory that is up until Tuesday at around 8 p.m. We are going to be watching for some high surf that's going to be lasting until later on this evening, actually. So again, today is Tuesday, so that's later on this evening that we will be watching for that high surf. But in the meantime, we are watching for a little bit of energy that is passing through, just some clouds at the moment. So we are going to be dry for today under a mostly sunny sky. A little bit of energy will be passing through coming up later on today. So let's zoom things out. There's that energy right there. So a little bit of activity passing through later on tonight. A partly cloudy sky with a slight chance for a shower or a rumble of thunder. So futurecast for today, a mostly sunny sky, maybe some clouds, slight chance for a shower or storm later on this evening. But again, as we do push forward, again, some gusty winds possible at around 15 miles per hour up to 20 miles per hour later on this evening. Hourly forecasts, again, a partly cloudy sky at times, and then watching for storms later on this evening. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Janessa?
All right, thank you, Devin. We'll see you a little later on. Well, despite many Memorial Day parades being canceled due to the weather yesterday, Mid-Coast Maine communities did not let the rain stand in their way of honoring those who lost their lives while serving our country. Residents from across Waldo County also gathered in Searsmont to show their appreciation to first responders who answered the call during the Robbins Lumber incident. As our Alex Schley reports, community leaders say coming together in the aftermath of tragedy was important, rain or shine.
Thank you for your service. Hundreds lined the streets of Searsmont Monday, waving flags, applauding first responders, and showing their support for the men and women who responded to the deadly Robbins Mill fire.
Our town has been through so much lately, and we just wanted to show our appreciation for everybody and what everybody's going through.
Alongside Searsmont officials of first responders from several fire departments across the region, many of which responded to the silo explosion earlier this month, took part in this year's parade.
But we thought it'd be a little different this year because of the Robbins Mill fire, and we just thought we'd honor them.
Before the parade began, the community also took time to honor those who died serving their country and others who could not be there, including firefighter Andrew Cross, who lost his life in the explosion, and the dozens of others who were injured.
I'm pretty emotional, actually, and thankful for everybody.
We're a tight-knit community. Everybody came together, and it's a shame that a firefighter had to lose his life, but I think going forward, things will probably change in this community. They have changed.
Town leaders say the turnout was a powerful reminder of Searsmont's strength and resilience even in the wake of tragedy.
It's overwhelming, humbling, brings joy to my heart, honestly.
In Searsmont, Alex Schley for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Well, Senator Susan Collins also made a stop in Searsmont yesterday. In addition to honoring the men and women who gave their lives serving our country, she also shared her appreciation to first responders who answered the call for the Robbins Lumber incident, including Morrill volunteer firefighter Andrew Cross, who died at the scene. In a Facebook post, she added, quote, "It was incredible how many local families and first responders turned out in the pouring rain. In face of tragedy, Searsmont has been a salient reminder of the resilience of our Maine communities and the kindness of our neighbors. As they continue to recover from the Robbins lumber explosion, we stand with them and keep those affected, especially the family of fallen volunteer firefighter Andrew Cross, close to our hearts," end quote. Well, Senator Angus King released a statement in remembrance of fallen service members. King is a senior member of the Senate Armed Services and Veteran Affairs Committees. In the statement, he said, quote, "One of our most solemn and important holidays in this country is Memorial Day. Sometimes we think of it as an opportunity to have a barbecue with our friends at the beginning of summer, but really it's a time to remember those who made the ultimate sacrifice on behalf of our country." Dating back to the Civil War, Memorial Day has become such an important and emotional time for so many people across our country. Well, Governor Janet Mills was in Prospect Harbor on Monday morning to speak at the town's annual Memorial Day ceremony. The ceremony was held at the Prospect Harbor Women's Club, where locals gathered to honor the legacy of those who sacrificed their lives in the line of duty. Mills says commemorating the fallen is a reminder to never forget the values that they fought for.
We remember the cost of a free republic, a democracy undivided though diverse. We recommit to keeping that republic, to defending the Constitution and our freedoms as long as the light and the warmth of life remains in us.
The ceremony also featured comments from town officials, including Selectman Bob Harmon.
So let us remember that freedom is never free. We are here today, we raise our flags and salute our flag of the United States to honor these people and to continue to remember.
The ceremony closed with a moment of silence and the playing of taps. At the Coal Land Transportation Museum in Bangor, 3,168 flags were placed on the grounds, each one representing a Maine hero who gave their life during World War II, Korea, or Vietnam. It's just one aspect of the Memorial Day services held annually at the museum. Our Grace Blanchard with more.
At the Galen Coal Family Land Transportation Museum, a key part of their mission is supporting area veterans.
We've been hosting it for decades now, and it's just a really special time for us to take a moment to honor those who made the ultimate sacrifice.
Forward march! A dedication demonstrated annually through their Memorial Day service.
So one of the 4 pillars of our foundation is veterans and promoting patriotism in our communities, and this is just one special way that we can do that each year without fail.
The people of Bangor are always so supportive of the military and everything we do in the Air National Guard and the Maine National Guard in general, so it's just very heartwarming.
Keynote speaker Colonel Byron Newell, commander of the 101st Air Refueling Wing in Bangor, addressed the recent military operation Epic Fury, reflecting on the 13 soldiers and airmen we lost and the 180 maniacs still deployed.
Some of them left in October. They keep getting their orders extended. Some of them left in January. Their orders are extended. We've gotten some of them home, but they're still out there. And the uncertainty weighs on all of us.
The rain let up just as it was time for veterans to place a wreath at the various memorials on the grounds, a moment that signifies the true meaning of the holiday.
I hope that everyone remembers the same thing, that this is a day of remembrance, that we remember those that did make the ultimate sacrifice.
In Bangor, Grace Blanchard, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
As we all know, yesterday was Memorial Day, but families across the country were also observing National Missing Children's Day. Here in Maine, there were 9 children who were missing, some for as long as 50 years old. Some were toddlers when they disappeared, others were teenagers, but all of their families are still waiting for answers. Those individuals, you can search Letters to Stephanie on Facebook. The time now is 8:11. Coming up next on Good Morning Maine, we'll have more on Bernie Sanders' rally in Orono. More on that ahead. But first, let's take another look at our forecast. For today, mostly sunny skies with temperatures in the low 80s. Overnight tonight, partly cloudy with a chance of thunder showers, temperatures in the upper 50s. And for tomorrow, partly cloudy and breezy, highs around 80. We'll be right back.
Paramount Paving, Maine's go-to for all your paving and seal coating. Paramount Paving offers commercial and residential paving and seal coating services throughout eastern and central Maine. Give us a call for a free estimate today. Paramount Paving. When it comes to paving, we are Paramount.
Got old metal and junk cars? Turn that clutter into cash at Daddy and Daughters. We make recycling easy, fast, and fair. From Skowhegan to Dover Foxcroft, from Troy to Lee, you can trust our certified scales and friendly service, offering top prices for junk vehicles in Maine. Whether you drop off or we pick up, Daddy and Daughters covers central and eastern Maine. Come see us at one of our 4 locations and watch your scrap pay off. Daddy and Daughters turn scrap into cash.
Maine's largest network of parts keeps you powered on the water or in your yard even longer. From belts to batteries, you'll find what you need, plus friendly, expert help with a little Napa know-how too. Right now, lawn and garden and marine batteries are 10% off. Save on dependable power for your mower or your boat and head into the weekend ready to work or ready to launch. Drive in, stock up, and hit the yard or the water with confidence. Coastal Auto Parts is owned and operated by a Maine family that cares.
Paramount Paving, Maine's go-to for all your paving and seal coating. Paramount Paving offers commercial and residential paving and seal coating services throughout eastern and central Maine. Give us a call for a free estimate today. Paramount Paving. When it comes to paving, we are Paramount.
Major League Baseball, all season long on Fox.
And off we go. It's going home run, getting my feet to the toes now. What a way to spend a Saturday night. You know that I'm killing them voices, old ones. Oh my goodness. Come on, are you kidding me?
Major League Baseball, all season long on Fox.
U.S. Senator Bernie Sanders brought his National Fighting Oligarchy tour to Maine on Sunday evening, drawing more than 1,000 people to the Collins Center for the Arts in Orono to endorse Democratic U.S. Senate candidate Graham Plattner and Democratic candidate for governor Troy Jackson. The senator from Vermont has been traveling across the country to highlight economic inequality. This marked his 40th stop in the Fighting Oligarchy tour. Sanders focused much of his speech on the need for higher taxes on corporations and billionaires, arguing that wealth and power have become dangerously concentrated among a small population of Americans.
It's not only Trump that is trying to undermine American democracy. It is all of these billionaires and their super PACs who want to own and control the United States Congress. We cannot allow that to happen.
Plattner and Jackson tied the senator's national message to their local campaigns. Jackson, who Plattner has endorsed for his first choice for governor, is the only Democratic candidate in a competitive primary race has received an endorsement from Senator Sanders. Plattner, the presumptive nominee to challenge Senator Susan Collins, told the crowd of progressives it's time for a, quote, political revolution.
We will not just fight the oligarchy, we will defeat the oligarchy and the political system that it maintains.
And what little time we have is being stolen by an oligarchy who see our lives, who see us as nothing more than a commodity, an opportunity to monetize.
This was the first of 2 events in Maine. The second stop happened in Portland last night. The primary is on June 9th. Meanwhile, registered nurses at Holton Regional Hospital will begin a 4-day strike today. They are protesting what they say is management's refusal to address their concerns about emergency department staffing and its impact on patient care. A statement says after the closure of the labor and delivery services in May of 2025, nurses had reached an agreement with the hospital to increase RN staffing to 3 nurses at all times in the emergency department, which was in anticipation of pregnant patients showing up with urgent cases there. However, they say new management took over at the end of May of 2025 and was not honoring that agreement. Holton Regional Hospital nurses say that they've been negotiating for over a year and a half for a new contract. The last one expired in November of 2024. We reached out to the hospital, but they were unable to comment. Well, in other news this morning, Island Connections is celebrating independence on Mount Desert Island with its annual Match Challenge fundraiser. From Memorial Day through July 4th, all donations to Island Connections will be matched dollar for dollar up to $15,000. The campaign ends once again July 4th. It aims to highlight Island Connections' mission to enhance independence and quality of life for seniors and people with disabilities on MDI. Organizers say the money raised will help provide free rides for medical appointments, food shopping and food delivery, even prescription pickups, and much more. To make a donation to the Match Challenge, you can visit islconnections.org and click Donate. The time now is 8:17. After the break, there are new U.S. airstrikes on Iran. We'll bring you the latest on that situation coming up. Plus, we'll hear from U.S. Senator Susan Collins in the Who's This Candidate segment. Those stories and more straight ahead on Good Morning Maine.
Garrett Mason is the America First conservative for governor. Mason will fight alongside President Trump to deport criminal illegal aliens and keep Maine families safe. No sanctuary cities in Maine, ever. Garrett Mason is tough on illegal immigration.
It's mowing season. And Bad Boy Mowers has the best lineup in the game. Built to win with more power, advanced engineering, and performance that never quits. Whether you're playing on this field or this field. So this mowing season, raise your game and join the team. Bad Boy, mow with an attitude.
This Nissan lineup goes where you take it. Vehicles built with oomph, torque, traction, and yeah, full control. That's the power of a Nissan. Now's the time to drive. Nissan, #1 in new vehicle quality. Well-qualified buyers get 0% APR on select model trims or get up to $4,750 total savings on Frontier.
President Feta cheese. So fresh. So creamy. No wonder it's the #1 feta in America. If it's excellent, it's President.
Cancer affects everyone, but there is hope at Northern Light Eastern Maine Medical Center's Champion the Cure Challenge, where every dollar raised helps patients in our own backyard. Make a difference. Walk, run, or cycle August 15th in Brewer. Visit ctcchallenge.org.
Bobby Charles ran a D.C. consulting firm that advised California Democrats while they were defending sanctuary cities that put illegal aliens back on our streets. Bobby Charles, California values, sanctuary cities. Bobby Charles is liberal on illegal immigration.
This year's election cycle in Maine has been one of the most talked about in recent history. As Maine's primary and general elections move even closer, we want to give our viewers a deeper look into the candidates they'll potentially be voting for. Today, we hear from Republican candidate and longtime Maine Senator Susan Collins, who we were able to speak with last Friday following the ribbon-cutting ceremony of Millinocket Regional Hospital's new ER department.
I am passionate about the fact that I make a difference for the people of Maine. And that really matters to me. I love the state, I love the people in it, and I love having the honor of representing them in Washington. Let me give you a specific example. For literally decades, I worked to remove 2 unfair provisions in the Social Security Act that penalized our retired school teachers, firefighters, police officers, school custodians, anyone who worked for a school system and worked in the public sector and the private sector. Unfortunately, what the law did is penalize people who had earned their full Social Security benefits, their 10 years of working in the private sector, or their spouse had worked in the private sector. But when it came time to retirement, because they had a state pension, they did not get their full Social Security benefits that they had earned or their spouse had earned. I was able to finally fix that law, and it has made a difference for 25,000 Maine families. All the time, people come up to me, particularly retired school teachers, and say that it's made the difference between a comfortable standard of living in retirement and just barely getting by. That inspires me. It inspires me that now that I am chair of the Senate Appropriations Committee, that in the past 5 years, I've been able to secure $1.5 billion for projects like the one here in Millinocket at the hospital. And those projects amount to 674 projects all over the state of Maine in all 16 counties. That would not happen were I not the chair of the Appropriations Committee, a position that the last time a Maine senator was chair was nearly 100 years ago. So I've had a once-in-a-century opportunity to make such a difference to communities all over the state of Maine, to healthcare systems, our rural hospitals, to child care centers, to fire stations, 45 of them from St. Agat to Limerick, and all places in between, and also to our community colleges and the University of Maine system. I love doing that work. I am passionate about it. And I know that were I not there, Maine would not be receiving that money.
The time now is 8:23. Let's get a full look at our forecast. Meteorologist Devin Biggs is in with the latest.
Alrighty, Janessa, thank you very much. Your full weather forecast brought to you by Tick and Mosquito Guard. We stop ticks and mosquitoes, now serving Washington, Hancock, and Penobscot counties. We are pet safe and have eco-friendly options available. Call today for a free quote, 207-263-3421. Alrighty, here we go. So we do have a small craft advisory that is up until this evening at around 8 p.m. We are watching for some high surf along the coast until about that time frame. Here is the current surf at around 4 feet according to the buoys, a little bit higher farther off towards the north and east, and again farther out towards sea at around 6 to even 10-foot wave heights currently being observed. So here's what we're looking at this morning. So again, just a few passing clouds. We will be under a mostly sunny sky as we do push forward today. So again, a very nice one, just a little bit of a breeze at around 5 to 10 miles per hour. A little bit of energy off toward the north and west that will be pushing in our direction. So we'll be under a partly cloudy sky this evening. There is a very slight chance for a shower or a rumble of thunder. So for today, a mostly sunny sky. Look at this evening. We are going to be watching a line of showers and storms to the north, but it is going to fizzle as it moves in our direction. So it will be a slight chance for a shower or storm this evening to the overnight period. And then once we head towards your Wednesday, just some clouds passing through, and that's all we're really going to be seeing by that point, and then just more clouds really as we head towards your Wednesday into Thursday. Notice some rain showers will be getting going as well. But for today, that sun is out. That UV index forecast at a 7 today. That is high. Burn time of 30 minutes. Hats, sunglasses, sunscreen, and shade necessary to avoid a bad sunburn. So your forecast coming up for today, mostly sunny, highs in the low 80s, and that southwest wind at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. By tonight, upper 50s, partly cloudy, a slight chance for a shower or thunderstorm, and that south wind at about 20 miles per hour. For tomorrow, low 80s, partly cloudy and breezy out there. West wind at about 25 miles per hour. Let's check out your extended forecast. Some rain showers Thursday with highs in the low 60s. For your Friday, we do have more rain chances, highs in the mid 60s. We're back in the low 60s Saturday with a chance for rain.
They say Maine is one small town with really long driveways. When we faced our toughest challenge in years, I was honored you let me into your homes. You trusted me to keep us safe, and together, we stood up to Donald Trump's lies about public health. I'm Nirav Shah, and I'm running for governor to bring that same results-driven approach to deliver for all Mainers. As governor, I'll run toward our biggest challenges: fixing housing, funding healthcare, and fighting Donald Trump.
Nirav Shah, governor.
Need a driveway paved or an entire road surfaced? Give Eaton Paving and Excavation a call. Eaton Paving offers a full line of excavation packages, from new home projects to new and replacement septics and driveways. We also install new shoreland and do shoreland repairs. Our operators have more than 75 years combined experience, and we have been delivering quality, professional service for nearly 3 decades. We strive to exceed your expectations. Give us a call today at 207-348-5630 or visit us at EatonPaving.com.
Here at Twin City Tire and Service, you will be working with industry professionals. We have ASE certified master technicians and certified tire and lube technicians. If we need your vehicle for a duration of time, we offer a complimentary shuttle service and can even offer a loaner vehicle. Being a client at Twin City Tire and Service means that we will treat you right. This includes a 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty on mechanical repairs. We also provide you with 1 year of complimentary roadside assistance. Come see us today at Twin City Tire and Service in Brewer.
Two Old Goats Antiquities and Artisans is located in Trenton. Our shop is open year-round, offering more than 3,000 square feet of antiques, furniture, collectibles, and just plain fun stuff. We are a group shop featuring 18 different vendors, each with their own style. We buy and sell vintage items, antiques, and curios. For more info, follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Two Old Goats Antiquities and Artisans, 749 Bar Harbor Road in Trenton. We know once you've stopped in and seen all the great deals we have to offer, you'll be back.
We begin with new U.S. strikes on Iran just hours after President Trump said negotiations were proceeding nicely. The Pentagon is describing the attacks as self-defense strikes to protect American forces, saying the scope is very small. This latest military action comes as a new round of talks are expected to begin in Qatar. ABC's Lindsay Tuckman has the latest from New York.
This morning, despite days of reported progress towards reaching a peace deal, the Pentagon now says U.S. forces have launched new airstrikes inside Iran, describing them as self-defense strikes to protect our troops from threats posed by Iranian forces. The strikes carried out in the area of Bandar Abbas, home to Iran's main naval base, reportedly targeted missile launch sites and Iranian boats trying to lay mines off the coast. The attacks coming despite the ongoing ceasefire. President Trump, marking Memorial Day, honored the 13 service members killed in the war so far.
These incredible men and women gave their lives to ensure that the world's #1 state sponsor of terror will never have a nuclear weapon. Oh, and they won't. They will never have a nuclear weapon.
There are indications the first step of a peace deal could be getting closer. Top Iranian negotiators have arrived in Qatar for talks. And Iran has now lifted its 87-day internet blackout, which has crippled its economy. The Trump administration insists Iran's enriched uranium must be destroyed.
The president had a very important, I think, historic call just a couple days ago with a number of leaders from the region. I think there's strong alignment and agreement on what a preliminary draft should look like. It's going to take a couple days to settle on even down to the disagreements over a word, sentence. So we'll have to work through that. It's either going to be a good deal or there isn't going to be one.
As for concerns that this latest action could threaten the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz, the market's clinging to optimism that a deal will be reached. Stock futures were up overnight and oil prices were down. Lindsay Tuckman, ABC News, New York.
Now to a stark warning from Pope Leo about the dangers artificial intelligence has and what it poses to humankind. The Pope released a lengthy letter appealing to developers to work for the common good rather than profit and power. He acknowledged AI's power to connect and educate while also calling for robust regulation.
I hear very troubling accounts of algorithms that can block access to healthcare, employment, and security on the basis of data tainted by prejudice and injustice. Artificial intelligence now demands to be disarmed, freed from logics that turn it into an instrument of domination, exclusion, and death.
Also in the room, the co-founder of the AI company Anthropic, who agreed with many of the Pope's concerns. Experts say global food insecurity is worsening the current Ebola outbreak as efforts to contain the disease are hampered. The World Food Program said on Monday that limited food assistance is causing many to search for resources outside of the areas of containment, which is undermining health measures that aim to keep the virus under control. The outbreak now has more than 900 suspected cases of Ebola and more than 220 suspected deaths, and that is according to the World Health Organization. Meanwhile, agencies have flown tons of aid into the areas of the Democratic Republic of the Congo, trying to meet the needs of the country's hardest hit areas. But funding restraints have also made response efforts much harder. Health experts say that the U.S. international aid cuts last year have devastated the eastern Congo and has reduced the region's capacity to respond to infectious disease outbreaks, leaving aid groups without the resources that they need to contain the virus. Well, now to a daring rescue mission deep inside of a cave in Southeast Asia. Several people are trapped, and now a famous rescue team is rushing in to help. ABC's Sophie Flay with more.
Overnight, a desperate search for 7 people trapped inside a cave in Southeast Asia for the last week. They were looking for gold in the cave when a flash flood blocked their exit. Some 100 first responders are now joining the rescue effort, navigating these narrow passages just 2 feet wide and recesses filled with muddy water. Among the rescuers, the divers who famously helped rescue children from a cave in Thailand in 2018. Back then, it took more than 2 weeks to rescue a dozen boys and their soccer coach trapped in a deep cave. Eventually, the boys had to be sedated, put in scuba gear, and taken out one by one while unconscious. The risk of failure was so high, the government gave rescuers diplomatic immunity in case something went wrong.
There's potential for them to kill themselves. There was potential for them to kill us.
That rescue spawning movies and TV shows.
The #1 diver in all the world.
This morning, rescuers in Laos could be in similar danger. They believe the 7 local villagers who got trapped are still alive because men who managed to escape earlier say there's a location deep in the cave that's above water level. But rain and low oxygen are slowing the rescuers' progress. Sophie Flay, ABC News, New York.
Coming up on the second half of the newscast, Gatherings Community Center in Surrey is hosting their 10th anniversary celebration. We'll learn more coming up.
We need to shake up Augusta.
But who will do it? An insider or an outsider? The insider is Bobby Charles, a D.C. lobbyist for 25 years. The outsider?
Jonathan Bush, a conservative businessman and disruptor. Bush is the only candidate who's created hundreds of jobs in Maine while reducing waste and fraud. And Bush will slash your property and income taxes.
I'm Jonathan Bush. Let's shake up Augusta.
You build more than projects. You build what communities rely on. When the job site runs on results, put Kubota to work. Backed by expert service and support from your local Kubota dealer. Right now, bring home select Kubota KX Series with 0% financing available or save up to $7,000.
Available at Doors Equipment, 1468 Outer Hammond Street, Bangor. You're watching Fox 22, Bangor.
Next, to the annual competition across the pond for which we have been eagerly awaiting. It involves a grassy hill and a wheel of cheese, very strong cheese, and a hill that is incredibly steep. But it always attracts a lot of people to risk their limbs to roll down it.
On Monday, travelers from all over the world once again tumbled down a famous British hill in the name of cheese. Doesn't that look fun? For the record, this once-a-year tradition goes back hundreds of years, with people gathering at notoriously steep Cooper's Hill in Gloucestershire to compete for a wheel of double Gloucester cheese. But did they have a guy in a Spider-Man costume 200 years ago, or a man in that? Actually, the biggest difference this time was probably the weather. With temperatures around 95 degrees Fahrenheit, this year's race happened to fall on the hottest May day on record in UK history.
Any injuries? I'm perfectly fine. I'm just very hot in this suit.
Well, the extra insulation did not stop German YouTuber Tom Kopka from winning for the third straight year. You can see him come from behind here to defeat Cooper's Hill legend Chris Anderson, who has a Guinness World Record 23 cheese wheel wins.
I just remember seeing Chris Anderson in front of me. I was like, I need to go faster, and then I sent it the rest of the hill down.
And hey, it seems like, despite the heat, the 7-pound cheese wheel managed to hold off from turning into fondue. Meanwhile, in the women's races, we saw a wide range of protective gear, from this woman who appears to be wearing bubble wrap to this contestant who wore a leaf on her head. However, the craftiest idea may have come from the winner, whom you see here rolling down the hill in a mouse onesie.
Celebrate, yes, lovely.
Alex from France told the BBC afterward that she actually was wearing elbow and knee pads underneath her chosen uniform. By the way, the 23-time champ Chris Anderson, who lost, still a successful day for him because his 11-year-old son William actually won the first ever kids race, which, for the record, was an uphill race. Thank God. In New York, for ABC News, I'm Danny New.
Now let's turn things right back over to meteorologist Devin Biggs.
Alrighty, Janessa, thank you very much. Happy Tuesday. Your first weather forecast brought to you by Tick and Mosquito Guard. We stop ticks and mosquitoes. Now serving Washington, Hancock, and Penobscot counties. We are pet safe and have eco-friendly options available. Call today for a free quote, 207-263-3421. Alrighty, here we go. We have a small craft advisory that is up until Tuesday at around 8 p.m. We are going to be watching for some high surf that's going to be lasting until later on this evening, actually. So again, today is Tuesday, so that's later on this evening that we will be watching for that high surf. But in the meantime, we are watching for a little bit of energy that is passing through, just some clouds at the moment. So we are going to be dry for today under a mostly sunny sky. A little bit of energy will be passing through coming up later on today. So let's zoom things out. There's that energy right there. So a little bit of activity passing through later on tonight. A partly cloudy sky with a slight chance for a shower or a rumble of thunder. So a futurecast for today, a mostly sunny sky, maybe some clouds, slight chance for a shower or storm later on this evening. But again, as we do push forward, again, some gusty winds possible at around 15 miles per hour, up to 20 miles per hour later on this evening. Hourly forecasts, again, a partly cloudy sky at times, and then watching for storms later on this evening. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Janessa?
Thank you, Devin. Still to come here this morning, Max Sturm with sports. Don't go away.
Keep your vehicle running smooth this summer with help from Frost Garage.
It's really hot in my car all the time.
We'll get you AC service, no problem.
Really pulls to one side and shakes a lot.
Sounds like you need some front-end work. Not a problem.
It really used to fly. Now it barely just chugs along.
Could just need a tune-up. We'll take a look.
No matter the issue, Frost Garage will keep your vehicle safe all year long.
I'd say it flies now.
Our message to the billionaire class is, your greed has got to end, and we are going to end it for you.
I agree with Bernie Sanders. That's why I co-chaired his campaign here in Maine. And that's why I'm running for Congress, to fight for a people's agenda. Tax billionaires, Medicare for all, living wages, affordable housing, universal childcare. I'm Matt Dunlap, and I approve this message to ask for your vote.
Carpets looking tired, stained, or just plain dirty? It's time to call the pros. At C&R Carpet Cleaning, we use deep steam technology to remove dirt, odors, pet hair, and allergens fast. Fresh, clean carpets, healthier home. That's the C&R promise. Visit our Facebook page for a free estimate or call us today, 631-7380. Step into clean with C&R Carpet Cleaning.
Think you're good at trivia? Arrange these holidays, these historic first, these animals. By the way,
I have no idea.
Congratulations, you have built the perfect line. I'm Deborah Norville, and this is the perfect line.
Onion rings before, in between onion rings and pizza.
Definitely after. Oh, this is what happy looks like.
Weekdays at 10 on Fox 22.
This is gonna suck.
It's a last chance for love.
Close your eyes.
Before each farmer gives one girl the boot.
Then there were two.
Farmer Wants a Wife, tonight on Fox.
Welcome back in, folks. Let's begin with the Maine baseball team, whose season just ended in a heartbreaking loss in the America East title game. It was a largely successful weekend for the Black Bears, who started the tournament with an 11-5 victory over UAlbany. Nick Pepe hit a 3-run homer that would give the Black Bears a comfortable lead, and Quinn Murphy ended it with a nice hit that resulted in 2 RBIs for the Black Bears. The following day, the matchup was with UMBC. That was a much more contested matchup, but Troy Carpenter's 2-run homer in the 5th inning put all the runs Maine would need on the board to move on to their next opponent, which was number 1 Binghamton. Another back-and-forth game that was against the league's top team. Maine took a 5-4 lead in the 9th when Hunter St. Denis homered, but 2 walks in the bottom of the 9th with the bases loaded. It gave Binghamton the 6-5 victory and sent them to the championship game. Now, because the tournament was double elimination style, Maine had one more chance to make it to the title game when they took on UMBC. That would be a more decisive 11-6 victory. Then they had to face Binghamton again in the championship game, and they would have to beat them twice to hang the banner, but they could not get the job done. They lost 7-3 in the first game, ending the Black Bears season. What a season it was for the Black Bears. It was so much fun to cover the team and speak with Coach Durba and the boys all spring long. I cannot wait to get back out there next season and be with that team. They're just such a fun group. Let's go ahead and check in with the Red Sox, who were just swept in their series with the Minnesota Twins. Boston's first game of the series saw them give up 5 straight runs after holding a lead in the 7th inning, ending in an 8-6 loss. In Sunday night's Game 3, the Sox again went up, this time a 4-3 lead that was lost, but down 6-5 in the 9th inning, the Sox had a chance to tie this game, and a great hit gave Connor Wong a chance to do so running to home plate, but the rainy weather allowed for a great skip pass, and the game ended in a 6-5 victory for the Twins. Interim manager Chad Tracy says that the tying attempt was a great play. It just did not work out the way that they had hoped.
I understand the sentiment. Soaking wet, raining, pouring, ball's wet, and then it's going to skip on the throw. So I definitely understand the sentiment. It's not easy to throw balls. We saw it early in the game with Willier trying to throw the ball home and it slips out. So I totally get it, being aggressive there with 1 out and trying to get the game tied.
A big storyline on Sunday was 2025 first-round pick Marcelo Mayer getting his first start at shortstop in the big leagues with the absence of Trevor Story, who's dealing with a sports hernia. Mayer looked composed in his natural position, even with the weather. He says he attacked the new role in the same way he would any other spot on the field.
Approaching it the same as I would as another position. Just going to go out there, do my best, try to help the team win. When I'm out there, just letting my instincts take over, whether that's at short, second, or third.
Let's stay national and go to the ice. The NHL playoffs have been magnificent so far this season. So let's take you to the sights and sounds of Montreal for Game 3 between the Canadiens and the Hurricanes. Series tied at 1-1 coming into Monday night. This one starts 8 minutes in. Puck fought for in the corner. Now it's loose, and Shane Gostisbehere with a shot in space He scores. It's 1-0 Canes. 6 minutes later, the Habs even the score. Another loose puck comes from the corner. Demidov finds Mike Matheson. He rips the shot and scores. It's tied at 1. But less than a minute later after that, a big scrum in front of the Habs net. Canes fighting for it, and Taylor Hall gets enough on it. They score and take a 2-1 lead. Fast forward to the second period, Habs down 2, but not for long. A little back and forth action on the odd man rush, and Lane Hudson finds the back of the net. We are tied at 2. In OT, Canes work the zone, and Andrei Svechnikov ends it. Carolina takes a 2-1 series lead. And just what a crazy series that has been. Crazy game, crazy series. Montreal and Carolina has been. And this conference final round as a whole has been crazy. Obviously, this series has been ultra competitive. The Habs shocked the Canes in game 1. Carolina fights back and ties the series. And then you go ahead and you look at the west side of things, and the Vegas Golden Knights are up 3-0 on the Avalanche, which is not expected at all. I had the Avalanche coasting their way to the Stanley Cup Finals, but yet they're facing a 3-0 deficit and facing a sweep on Tuesday. For right now, though, that is all the time we have for sports. We'll be right back after the break.
Purple Co is open and here to stay. Come join a growing community of like-minded people with monthly events, arts and concerts, daily deals, and the best products and prices in the state. Plus, don't miss Purple Co Bangor's annual party on 4/18. Now with 4 locations from Portland to Bangor. Come check us out today.
Foggy's Pub, your place for fun, food, and friends in Palmyra, Maine.
Think you know Robert Charles? Think again. While President Trump was crushing the woke left, DC insider Bob Charles was cashing in, making millions holding lucrative contracts with the woke DEI Never Trump Obama administration. Bob Charles, looking the other way, abandoning the MAGA movement, working for liberal DEI-loving Democrats, failing President Trump. Anything for a buck chuck can't be trusted. Trump traitor Robert Charles, woke, radical, wrong. Just too liberal for Maine.
Meet the toughest team in the game. Bad Boy Mowers and Bad Boy Tractors. These powerhouses will do whatever it takes to win. Putting in the work with unrivaled engineering, game-changing features like heated seats and an Alpine entertainment system, plus durable implements and style that's in a league of its own. Bad Boy Mowers and Tractors. Power, performance, attitude.
Purple Co is open and here to stay. Come join a growing community of like-minded people with monthly events, arts and concerts, daily deals, and the best products and prices in the state. Plus, don't miss Purple Co Bangor's annual party on 4/18. Now with 4 locations from Portland to Bangor. Come check us out today.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, today we are joined by Clarissa Diaz and Flo Reed, and you were both with the Gathering Community Center. Thank you guys so much for coming in today.
Thanks for having us.
Of course. So you guys have an anniversary, a 10th anniversary, coming right up, not this weekend, but the weekend after. Can you guys kind of tell me what that event entails and what you guys are celebrating?
Well, we're celebrating 10 years of offering a space for the community to come together for a variety of different activities. And we're celebrating with a cookout and lawn games and birthday cake and live music by the Leftovers. Just a celebration of all that we've been able to offer the community over the last 10 years.
Sure, and I'm sure that probably the whole community is invited to this.
Absolutely.
Okay, very cool.
The whole community is invited to almost everything that happens
yeah,
at the gatherings.
Yeah, and
yes.
well, you guys were telling me beforehand too, this space that you guys have has been used for so many different things. Can you just go over like you know, who has used this space before and what you guys kind of use the space for yourselves?
Yeah, so it's really anybody in the community who has an idea of something that they want to do. It could be a class they want to try out teaching, or they might have a language group that they want to practice with, or even a club of friends, or they just want to have a birthday party there. They can rent the space. We have multiple rooms in the building. You can also rent out the whole building. We try to keep it as affordable as we can. So, about $10 minimum to use the space for about 3 hours, and to rent a private rental is only $85.
Wow, that's awesome. And is that the whole building too?
Yeah,
that's great.
And so, the grounds too.
You could use that on a weekend and book ahead, maybe for a baby shower or like birthday party, like you said, something like that. So I'm sure that many people in your community have been able to use that space over the many years that you guys have had it.
There's activities happening just about every day, and on many days there's 2 or 3 different activities happening.
Yeah. Well, here's some pictures too that they sent me. Which one is this, Clarissa? This one is the basket.
So this is just a sampling of some of the activities that we've been doing in the last month or so. There's basket weaving, we had vinyl night, we have Spanish group, Spanish conversation, some of the other nonprofit organizations in the area. This is like, for instance, the Surrey Garden Club, they do their winter events there. This was one of we have an annual summer party as well, so this is what this is.
Fun.
Local musicians come and play. It's just a really great celebratory time to celebrate community.
It looks like a blast. And you said too, like, even this would be a great space for kids as well, whether that's being able to maybe get tutored here or have a little classroom setting going on. But yeah, I'm super excited for you guys to be able to host this event. What's the date and what time is it next weekend?
It'll be Saturday, June 6th.
Okay.
It starts at 2 p.m. We'll have a potluck, silent raffle. And then the leftovers will play starting around 6 p.m.
Okay, very cool. So it's kind of
we'll be providing food as well, grilled food.
Nice. So it's kind of an afternoon and evening event going on. Do people have to buy tickets for this, or can they just show up?
They can just show up. Okay. We hope they'll be inspired to make a donation.
Yes, that would be lovely. Well, ladies, thank you so much. For anyone who wants more information on this event, where can they go for more information, whether that's social media or a website?
Yeah, so we have Facebook and Instagram at Surrey Gatherings, and our website is surreygatherings.org.
Okay, wonderful. Well, this interview will be posted with all of that information after the show's end today on foxbangor.com. Thank you guys so much again.
Thank you.
We'll turn things over to meteorologist Devin Biggs.
Alrighty, Janessa, thank you very much. Your full weather forecast brought to you by Tick and Mosquito Guard. We stop ticks and mosquitoes, now serving Washington, Hancock, and Penobscot counties. We are pet safe and have eco-friendly options available. Call today for a free quote, 207-263-3421. Alrighty, here we go. So we do have a small craft advisory that is up until this evening at around 8 p.m. We are watching for some high surf along the coast until about that time frame. Here's the current surf at around 4 feet according to the buoys, a little bit higher farther off towards the north and east, and again farther out towards sea at around 6 to even 10-foot wave heights currently being observed. So here's what we're looking at this morning. So again, just a few passing clouds. We will be under a mostly sunny sky as we do push forward today. So again, a very nice one, just a little bit of a breeze at around 5 to 10 miles per hour. A little bit of energy off toward the north and west that will be pushing in our direction. So we'll be under a partly cloudy sky this evening. There is a very slight chance for a shower or a rumble of thunder. So for today, a mostly sunny sky. Look at this evening. We are going to be watching a line of showers and storms to the north, but it is going to fizzle as it moves in our direction. So it will be a slight chance for a shower or storm this evening to the overnight period. And then once we head towards your Wednesday, just some clouds passing through, and that's all we're really going to be seeing by that point. And then just more clouds really as we head towards your Wednesday into Thursday. Notice some rain showers will be getting going as well. But for today, that sun is out. That UV index forecast at a 7 today. That is high. Burn time of 30 minutes. Hats, sunglasses, sunscreen, and shade necessary to avoid a bad sunburn. So your forecast coming up for today, mostly sunny, highs in the low 80s, and that southwest wind at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. By tonight, upper 50s. Partly cloudy, a slight chance for a shower or thunderstorm, and that south wind at about 20 miles per hour. For tomorrow, low 80s, partly cloudy and breezy out there. West wind at about 25 miles per hour. Let's check out your extended forecast. Some rain showers Thursday with highs in the low 60s. For your Friday, we do have more rain chances, highs in the mid 60s. We're back in the low 60s Saturday with a chance for rain.
President Brie cheese. So rich. So creamy. No wonder it's the #1 brie in America. If it's excellent, it's President.
From the heart of Maine, where rugged beauty meets timeless craftsmanship, Richard Henderson & Sons Masonry, taming the outdoors through groundwork, retaining walls and seawalls, building custom fireplaces that become the centerpiece of your home, crafting granite steps and patios that invite you outdoors, designing hardscapes that turn yards into living spaces, built to last, crafted for life. Richard Henderson & Sons Masonry, quality in every stone.
Come home to the kitchen of your dreams. At Atlantic Designs, we redefine kitchen spaces, turning your dreams into reality. Our experienced designers ensure you get a stunning new kitchen while bringing function and style to every corner. Whether you're on a tight budget or ready to splurge, we've got the perfect plan for you. Your dream kitchen is closer than you think. So contact Atlantic Designs today and start the process. Your dream kitchen awaits with the kitchen people at Atlantic Designs.
When there's a big job to do, you send the person you know will deliver. Joe Baldacci. Lowering grocery prices, protecting Medicare, defending a woman's right to choose. Those are big jobs. Joe Baldacci's always delivered for Maine. He passed laws making healthcare easier to get and helped restore mental health centers. Joe Baldacci goes to work for us in Maine. And in Congress, he will too. Project 218 is responsible for the content of this ad.
You know Matt pretty well. Did he give you any advice?
He said that I should use 26 words or more.
25 words or less.
Wed, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
You just won it!
Weekdays at 9 on Fox 22.
China sent off its astronauts to space on Sunday. 3 astronauts are on their way to the International Space Station, including one who's expected to remain there for more than a year, which would be among the longest lengths of time that anyone has been in space. Ahead of the launch, hundreds of people gathered to bid farewell to the astronauts during a send-off ceremony in Jiuquan. The much-anticipated launch comes as China prepares for its first crew moon landing by 2030. Well, working hospital dogs bring joy and comfort to sick patients. Hospital facility dogs are full-time employees that help prepare children for different procedures, surgeries, and navigate the stressful aspects of being hospitalized. They are much different from volunteer dogs that usually come in for a few hours a week to visit patients. In March, Johns Hopkins Children's Center in Maryland introduced 2 full-time facility dogs for the very first time. These pups have been on the clock for years at places like Mount Sinai Kravis Children's Hospital in New York and the St. Louis Children's Hospital. Experts say that these dogs make a real difference.
We have patients who have these really long-term relationships with our dogs who really say their lives have been changed by the dogs. We've had patients, unfortunately, who have not had positive outcomes to their treatments, who their caregivers will say how supportive the dogs were during their very, very hardest moments.
Research shows that even small interactions with facility dogs can boost kids' overall well-being and help decrease the pain and stress that they experience while being in the hospital. Well, that's all the time that we have left for this morning, but as always, we thank you for joining us. Have a great day, everyone.
Today on 25 Words or Less, this guy's been nominated for more Emmys than you